it's been cool just to see you mature into your role and your progression. I got a sneak peek into season 4. Of course, you guys are going to see the first 2 episodes of season 4 on February 24th. It's finally coming out. It's been a long wait. But yeah, man. Now your 4th year or 4th season of this show for you. What's it just been like, kind of growing with Leon? Like, what has that process been for you?
And it's been cool just to see the transitions that Leon has had to encounter in his lifetime. As far as on Snowfall, we started with him just being some average kid, just being a product of his environment, and then getting into the drug game, and then now he's becoming a man this season and becoming his own. So it's pretty interesting watching that transition.
Yeah. If you could speak to yourself coming into this, now looking back, what would you communicate to yourself?
I would just give myself multiple pep talks, because there's a lot of transition that I experienced just in my personal life, because everything was it was like very drastic. So I had to transition very fast from, always aspiring to be be this actor, and then having the opportunity like overnight kind of. And so it's like that transition at, I was 20 years old was a lot. So I had to quickly learn a lot, and I was just really just give myself pep talks throughout the times of, just give myself advice as far as how to maneuver through this industry, do's and don'ts, things that I would do versus what I wouldn't do, just constant pep talks.
It's not an overnight success for you, really, because you've been on the ground for a minute, and you were not even going to, cast for Snowfall originally because you were just frustrated. I know acting is a very difficult business, and your moms talk you into it and coach you through it. And shout out to having like positive and good emotional support. But now that you're on this side of things, I know you're taking care of moms, right? Like,
no, she's definitely getting taken care of. She's still my manager, so she definitely we have a contract with each other. So
okay,
it's her cut, but she is well deserved. She sacrificed a lot for me to be where I'm at today. So
Franklin was in jail, and you saw him getting beat up, and you just spazzed. You was like where just kind of had that fire, like, you go harder than this, like you got more backbone in this. And I was like, yeah, you need somebody like that in your camp, like, you know what I mean, like that's just gonna be like, hey, let's take care of this. So for you though, what's your most iconic Leon scene?
They haven't been released yet.
Okay.
I have a lot of scenes this season that I feel like will shock people, because it shocked me as far as even my capabilities as an actor as to what I had to portray this season. So I had to portray a lot of vulnerability. We tapped into the PTSD that this Leon character would naturally be going through because of everything that he's done in his past. So I had to really extend my actor senses to really portray these things. So I mean, so far my favorite scene is definitely the jail scene, but those scenes, they haven't aired yet, so you see and know what I'm talking about.
That was my favorite thing, is kind of seeing you get your vulnerability a little bit more, all of you guys, because I feel like for your character, you kind of were aware of the effects of the of what you guys are doing is on the neighborhood that you live in, maybe a little bit more than everyone else. But now seeing how that affects you guys personally, that's something for everybody, all the fans to look forward to. So another thing that I wanted to ask you about, because I remember you sharing kind of your desires eventually to do director work and be behind the scenes. I know one of the benefits of being on set for a long time is maybe now you can start to ask some of those questions you don't get to ask anymore. I mean, you don't get to ask when you're new, excuse me. Have you been able to get a little bit more depth and understanding of that process of becoming an excellent director?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like what makes a great director is understanding an actor's process and how to effectively communicate to your actor. So the fact that I able to watch not only my process as an actor, but watch other actors' process, I'm like, it gives me a wider perspective on how to communicate what needs to be portrayed in the scene. So working with other actors helps me in my perspective. So okay, cool. Like, this actor needs to have more time to himself, or this actor, he just wants you to tell him exactly what it is you want out of the scene. And so it's really cool, and to see how directors prep a scene and the type of shots that they want, the lighting that they want to really help the actor's emotion come off of screen, on screen. So it's just a lot of moving parts to it, but it's honestly, it looks really exciting. And I love photography. So that's definitely helped my eye as far as like certain shots that I would want if I was directing. So I'm kind of doing multiple things to really mold my future self in directing.
I know one of the things I've noticed everyone say, directors, cast members, you talk about the respect that y'all have for one another, the chemistry that y'all have from one another. There's just this aura of like ease that allows you guys to just focus on your art and your craft. I'm wondering for your Netflix gig that you did, was there an adjustment to your eyes, or like, because I would imagine it was maybe one of the first big projects you had done outside of Snowfall, with new people and like just all of these adjusting things. Was there a challenge that you had as an actor that you didn't have before that in going to this different production?
I wouldn't say it was a challenge because like me personally, I feel like I can adapt. So when I booked the movie kind of like really quick. So I immediately had to go out to Oakland and we immediately started production. So we really didn't have like opportunity to, as a cast, to just be around each other and, build a rapport. We kind of had to do it first day on set type deal. So it was honestly like, I like to just converse with people, have conversation, ask some personal questions just so I can get a gist of who they are as a person. And it's honestly cool. Like me and Ashton, we hit it off like really quick, constantly having conversation, checking up on each other. And, I feel like it definitely came off on screen that we were, really close in person. So I think me naturally being curious about people and their story helps break the ice a lot because I ask a lot of in-depth questions when I'm around other actors. So
Awesome, brother. And my final question for you, I'm a big mental health guy personally. I think that especially in this pandemic season, a lot of isolation for people. So I think it's important for people to hear what people in the entertainment industry are doing, because in some ways, what you guys do and what you guys say matter and have a little bit of weight to the outside world. What has been something that has been integral for you in your journey of just like making sure that you let go of a character when you leave, or just like to check in on yourself mentally, that you've done that you maybe didn't do before once this kind of pandemic season started?
I mean, I feel like the pandemic was necessary for people to kind of reset and reflect on themselves. But for me personally, I use this pandemic time to um, focus on family, focus on my spiritual health alongside with my mental health. So like me, I like being out in nature. So I would just go on long nature walks and just like pray, meditate, do what I need to do to set my day and to really like plan out how I want my life.
Yeah.
And to really, have no distraction as to feeling like, okay, well, now I gotta, worry about an audition, worry about this interview, worry about a meeting, because there was none of that. So it was, it gave everybody opportunity to really sit back and focus on what really matters. And that's everything internal and reconnecting ourselves with God. So I feel like that's what I did personally. So
That's good, brother. I think that's so important to say too. As a creative myself, leaving, I find that when I leave something alone, because it's hard for me to let things go. If I leave for like 5 minutes or an hour, I realize when I come back, I'm like, oh, I got like way more space for this or to approach this or anything like that. So I'm glad that you shared that, and thank you for joining me, bro. If you guys have anything, have nothing to get excited about, understand that like this guy definitely brought it for this season. And just that vulnerability that we're going to be seeing from you, just kind of seeing how far you can stretch yourself as a character, was really fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for joining me, bro.
All right, thank you much. I appreciate it.
Where is the buzz? You said was mine.
Where is the buzz?